Imagine a Sega employee walking into your house late at night, taking away all of your Sonic merchandise. Simply because headquarters decided they are not going to sell those figurines anymore, thus they need to be taken away from anyone who ever purchased them in the first place. I'm obviously joking, but in fact, this is what's happening right now in the world of video games, in the world of digital media, and has been going on for many years. Sony in particular garnered a lot of negative attention recently, not only with the erasal of digital content from people's libraries, but also with the recent announcement of the discontinuation of physical discs starting in 2028. I'll leave the news article here on the screen for a moment so you can read it up yourself if you're interested. Now, this announcement came pretty soon after they officially announced the release of GTA 6 and has taken the gaming community by storm. And as always, the community is divided. And I want to have a look at both sides in a second. But before that, I want to show you this screenshot here of what Senior Director Sid Schumann basically said. He explains here that as consumer preferences and the broader entertainment industry continue to shift away from physical discs to digital, they want to basically adapt to the market conditions, and make sure consumers get what consumers want. And according to statistics they've shown, it is true, there is a big shift, and or has been a big shift throughout the past decade towards digital media. And it's easy to understand why. You can do the purchase from the comfort of your home. Don't need to leave your house. Don't need to wait in line at a store to be the first to get your hands on it. And I get it. Convenience and simplicity, ease of use, always wins. As I said, the community is quite split about this. You can see this when you go check your favorite gaming Reddits, that I would say especially younger people, or those who started gaming during that decline of the physical media, sometimes don't really understand or see the issue that many of us take with the decline of physical media, or simply the announcement to stop producing discs altogether. In short, the issue is simply the less choices you have as a consumer, the worse it is for you. It doesn't matter where you enjoy buying or having your games, whether it's physical, digital, the less options you have, the worse it is for you. While I'm not particularly a fan of Xbox, Sony, or Nintendo, and I am mostly a PC user, a PC player, I appreciate that the options exist, and competition is good for the consumer. But back on track. It is blatantly obvious where all of this is going. It's really just about controlling the ecosystem end to end. Effectively, basically ending the second-hand market entirely. Saving money without passing the savings on to the consumer. If you as a manufacturer do not have to, well, manufacture CDs, Blu-rays, whatever, obviously there's a little savings involved or no cost involved. But don't you think for a second that they would ever pass these savings on to you? Making sure you are voting with your wallet is more important these days than ever. Because if you want to avoid this type of control in the future, you will have to make sure your purchases reflect that. At the end of the day, it's not about what you or I personally prefer. Both digital and physical media, they both have their place. But phasing out one type of media, physical in this case, serves really only one purpose, which is to further the control that these companies have over you and over your decision making. Physical games ownership is really more than just boxes on a shelf. I remember growing up with Sony, with Nintendo, with Xbox later on, and I still have many of those physical games and guidebooks that I purchased or that my parents purchased for me back then. They're, well, mostly stored in a cellar right now because I don't have a whole lot of space in my apartment, but whenever I look at them, I see history, I see memories, I see emotions, I see moments where I played with my dad, where I played with my brother, and I remember them fondly. And I do not have this type of connection to any of my digital games that I have in my Steam library, for example. I guess overall the point that I'm trying to make is that everything has gotten more and more expensive throughout the past couple of years. And on top of that, companies are trying to take more and more away from you, which is why I'm seeing that people are being very careful with their money and their spending habits altogether. To give you more details, all of this AI craze in the world recently has driven up prices for electronics, electronic parts, consumer electronics, RAM, hard drive, and all of that stuff like crazy. And if you're in the market to buy a new console or a video game, you really have to think twice of what you're getting yourself into. And this is where I would like to simply make you aware or make you compare the ecosystems to each other. You get where I'm going with all of this. In my opinion, the only real deal you should spend your money on is the computer, is the PC, is hell, the Steam machine even. Any platform that is as open and accessible as a computer is worth your money. Nothing else right now, in my opinion, is worth your money. Not the exclusives that Sony or Nintendo has could make me give up the freedom and the options that I'm getting by simply owning a computer. I don't want to pay for online play. I don't want to pay for cloud storage of my save files. I want to have the option to mod my games how I see fit, if there are any mods. I want to have the option to, take my Steam library on the go, which I can do with my Steam Deck. I really love it. It's fantastic. I don't want to be bound to one specific store or one specific ecosystem. And that's why I simply choose the PC. There is simply nothing like it. There is nothing better. There is nothing that is more consumer friendly. I understand sometimes you will have to troubleshoot things on your computer when you actually want to have time to play. That comes along with owning a PC, but you also learn a lot from it. And that's something where if something breaks on your PC, there is a high chance you can actually replace the part yourself or fix it yourself by, doing a restart or simply reinstalling the game or your operating system. And oftentimes when it comes to a console or a closed system like that, you have no other choice than to open a support ticket with a manufacturer, send it in for repair, wait for 6 weeks until your console is back, and then hope that everything went well. Trust me, I know it. I've been working for a hardware manufacturer for a decade. And yes, I am aware that a platform like Steam can technically also revoke your games or remove something, and it has happened in the past. But through everything I've experienced with Steam in the past 20 years, I can tell you they've more than earned my trust. Not only are all my games still there that I've been purchasing over the past 2 decades, but every time I needed support, asked for a refund, or purchased anything from them, I got a lot of great support. And that's what ultimately matters. You can probably tell I'm really not a fan of the general topic of licenses being revoked and content being taken away from players, from people, shutdowns of games, and aggressive data harvesting by companies. Nope. I actually really wanted to make another reaction video just to get better at editing and have some fun, but I felt like this topic couldn't wait. And I really wanted to add my 2 pennies to the conversation. Let me know what you think, guys. I'm really curious to see if you have a completely different standpoint towards all of this. If you're a console player, what would you do if they removed, say, some of your favorite games from your library? Would you be alright with that? Would you just say, oh, it is what it is? Would you continue to support the PlayStation Store, the Microsoft Store? What is it that keeps you loyal to whatever you're gaming on? I hope I could explain in this video why I think PC is simply the best place to be in terms of games, in terms of freedom and options that you have, but I understand there's different camps of people out there. So let me know what you think. So that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know your opinion on the topic. I'll see you soon.